Right. Hi, everybody. My name is Christina with Zone Physical Therapy, and today I wanted to talk to you about the details of your strength planning routine that you are missing. One of the most common mistakes that I see runners make when they're choosing to lift weights and incorporate into their program is that they are lifting on a recovery day. Unfortunately, your body does not only recognize running as work, but also cross-training, weightlifting, and other daily tasks, right? So if you are lifting on the intensity that you should be when you're strength training, um, this is not a recovery day, right? You are not taking the recovery day, and that's a recipe for disaster. So when should you be strength training then? Um, right? So we're going to break that down a little bit and help you plan out your weekly routine a little bit more. So, three criteria that I like to look at when I'm making an ideal plan for a week. One, there are 4 truly easy days. Two, there are at least 36 hours between your last strength session and your next hard workout, right? And then 3, there's about 2 nights rest between weightlifting and the next high intensity training day. A good night's sleep is different than just having a recovery day, right? Because there's a lot of processes that happen when you're sleeping that you're just not going to get through the day. So in an ideal world, you have 2 nights rest. You may not be able to hit all 3 based on your lifestyle and other various schedules, but you should aim for as many of those as you can, right? So I'm going to show you how to build the ideal training plan. And with that, I know I'm realistic. I know that's not the perfect world we live in. So I want you to try and stick to those 3 criteria as closely as you can. So again, it's going to look a little different for everyone, and it will vary a lot depending on how many days a week you're running, lifting, cross training, and how long your current training cycles are. So for today, we're going to discuss 3 different examples of training plans, and we'll talk about what went right and what went wrong with each of those. So I am going to go ahead and screen share so that you can follow along with me. And we will take a look. Share screen. Okay. So we're going to talk about an example athlete here. And for this particular person, they're running 6 days a week. They use a 7-day cycle training plan. They lift twice a week. 2 of those workouts that week are harder, and they have 1 long run, right? This describes a lot of my clients, definitely not all. I see a wide variety, but this is a common routine that I see, right? So let's look at option A. Zoom in a little bit. Cool. So option A is what I would probably call optimal out of the 3 options that we're going to talk about today. Hard workouts, let me break this down a little bit, right? So a few things to look at what went right here. So the hard workouts are before their weightlifting, so you don't interfere with your main goal, right? Your main goal here being becoming faster and a more resilient runner, right? So whichever one we do first is going to kind of take precedent. And you would not only have 36 hours between your strength training session and your next hard workout, but you're also going to get 2 nights rest. So this is gold star, ideal. I would love for all of my clients' training schedules to kind of look like this. Not always the case. So let's take a look at option B. Option B. So option B is good, but it's not optimal, right? So this is where a lot of people are going to fall. There's still 36 hours between strength training and the next hard workout, but there's only 1 night's rest, so you won't be as recovered. And there are also less days in this option that are easy days, right? And while there's just as many easy runs, there are 2 extra days where your body is working in overdrive, right? Because it's not a truly easy day. So when we look at this one here where we're weightlifting an easy run, technically we still got that easy run in, but this is not what I would call a recovery day, right? That being said, I'm realistic. I know it's not perfect. So we just want to stay as close as we can. So this is good, but not optimal, right? So let's take a look here at option C. Don't be option C. Um, so let's take a what's looking wrong here, right? So there's only 12 hours between weightlifting and the next hard workout, roughly, if we do everything 12 hours apart, right? And there's very few truly easy days, right? So there's an easy day here and an easy day here. So we only get two because all of our other easy runs are on those same days where we're lifting weights, right? And we just we don't have the recovery that we need. So this isn't ideal for your performance or longevity as a runner, which is huge. So if you are truly lifting at the intensity that you should be, and if you're not, then you're not getting nearly as much out of it as you could and should be, right? If we're going to take the time to strength train, let's do it well and do it right. So if we want the full benefit, let me on screen share here. Stop share. Cool. All right. Yeah, so if you want the true benefit from the time that you're spending lifting, that time that you're taking out of your day, it doesn't have to take you an extensive amount of time, but it does need to be heavy. It has to. While you might spend as much time doing, you might spend some time doing some accessory work that may be a little bit lighter, your main lifts should be pretty intense, right? So you'll know that you're lifting heavy enough when you finish your set of roughly 6 to 8, and you say to yourself, like, I could do 2 to 4 more, but I really don't want to, right? And there's, of course, exceptions to these guidelines. There's times in your training where you or a coach may stray from what is set out for you in this guide, just to achieve more specific goals. And maybe you and your coach have decided you need to make strength more of a priority, or you are intentionally training under fatigue, or maybe you're preparing particularly for like a hilly training block, right? So there are exceptions, right? These should be limited, however, for a specific set of time and not the general rule. So when we do when we do stray away from these guidelines, there can be a reason and there can be it can be a good use of your time, but this should not be your general rule. This should be for a limited amount of time, right? If we want for you to have the longevity and the performance gains that you really truly need. So just a few things for you guys to consider as you're hopefully diving into some new strength training workouts and trying those out. Yes, it's important that you're lifting weights, but it's also important on the timing and when you're doing it and how much you're doing. So reach out if you guys have any questions. Otherwise, we'll talk to you later.